girl, hey, it's Nita and welcome back to another video. So as you can see, I have these two gorgeous ladies here with me today because we are doing from a curvy girl's perspective. So we are here, okay, for a little LTK coin or whatever, our first time, and we thought we would link to give y'all some content, again, from a curvy girl's perspective. So it is 3 parts. So make sure you stay tuned. I will have everyone's videos in the description box down below, and if you're not following these beautiful ladies, make sure you're following them. Chi
from Supple Chic,
Supple Chic, and Ashley
from Head to
Curve. So again, we'll have their handles and everything, but I will also have them in the description box down below. So make sure you head over to their channels to check out all 3 parts. Was that all of it? I think that's all the housekeeping. So let's go ahead and hop into the questions and let's talk.
Okay.
You're the administrator.
Let me put on my hat.
Oh, so we were supposed to start off with how did we meet? That was actually
that's a good not us not knowing what we were supposed to do in this video that we actually
Come on, memory.
Nita slid in everybody's
I slid in every. I was like, should I tell them or?
Yeah, she had a message.
I shot my shot.
Yes.
But
it was good though. She put in she started with how she greets everybody, hey girl, hey, and then she came in with just trying to make new friends. Wanted to introduce myself. My name is Nita, and I'm Dallas influencer. Been following you for a while or something like that. Just wanted to introduce myself and some kind of
say hey.
I
think I was like, it's hard making coworkers in this space when you work from home. Of course, if you guys don't know, I used to do hair, so I worked with people. And this was different, not working with people and not seeing people. Because even if I didn't see nobody in my suite, I had clients I was talking to. So I'm like, I'm at home by myself. Okay, let me say hey to somebody, like just to just to make a connection. And so I reached out and I was just like, hey, I want to make sure they knew I'm not looking for nothing from you or anything. I'm just literally saying hello, just introducing myself. Like I said, I feel like the new kid on the block, so I'm just like saying hey, and I enjoy your content and just want to reach out.
And it didn't come off creepy.
It did not. It did not.
I know some people out and they come off creepy.
Yes, but I don't know if they know that it comes off creepy, and I try to give that grace.
Okay.
Sometimes some people just don't know. Girl, this
That's
is creepy.
true. Some people can just maybe be awkward or like socially.
Just not used
like me, I'm very socially awkward. So the reason why I responded, well,
I am too.
Because there's something, Nita, you have a way of like just making people feel comfortable. Yeah, and maybe it's from your background, from like
because you're used to being around people.
Yeah, I'm used to talking to people. So I think it's just a part of being a hairstylist. Yeah, kind of a low key counselor. And I love though Ashley counsels me, but.
No, but I love how
we'll get into
that. It's kind of lonely here. We don't have friends. Like basically speaking to a pain point that we all have. Okay, in general, doing this this business can be sometimes lonely because you're popping your camera, you're filming everything in your house. If you have like a team or a person, fine. But at the beginning, most people don't have any.
Don't have none. But that's how we met. I slid in everybody's DM. I shot my shot.
Yes. And then from there on, we eventually exchanged numbers. I don't know when.
Yeah, at some point. I know we exchanged numbers for Fashion Week.
For Fashion Week,
I'm so sorry.
You got all the interruptions. Okay.
The celebrity here. I mean, we're just trying to film. Just trying to film. Okay, give us little people a moment.
Okay. Everything on vibrate. Okay, we good.
I don't even know if mine on vibrate. But
I feel like
right now.
No,
it's fine. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But I know we exchanged numbers around Fashion Week, and a lot of connections are just important because I was invited to a lot of things from Chi Chi because she's an OG. Both of them actually. Like I said, I'm the new kid on the block, so I know Chi Chi does a lot of events in New York, period. But you've been to Fashion Week multiple times, so I was the newbie. So I'm like, girl, what y'all doing? Y'all doing anything? What's up? Like, what's going on?
How does this work?
How does this work? How do I navigate this? So and then I don't remember when or how we exchanged numbers.
I don't either.
But I know for sure Ashley has been an amazing.
Why should I always giggle? I feel like when she talk about me, she thinks about my facial expressions.
That
just go straight into laughing.
Her facial expressions are just like, okay, they're top tier. I'll say that. But no, I was like, she's been an amazing resource of like people, my accountant, my financial advisor, I found from Ashley, and my new social media manager.
Bean girl.
So thanks for sharing.
Sure.
And she counsels me through my financial trauma. So,
girl.
Yeah.
More on that later.
More on that later. Okay, now I think we can hop into the question. So first, I think we're going to talk about confidence in dating, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the confidence aspect of what the one that was regarding TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah. So we didn't get the actual video. We'll link it somewhere. But
maybe by the time we get ready to edit this, we can probably plug it in or what have it.
So my friend Shania actually was telling us about there was a young lady on TikTok. I don't know if it was a video she made or she pretty much posed a question specifically talking about building her confidence. I think she was married for like 10 years and she pretty much was comparing her body to others and she felt less than because she wasn't like the right plus size. She felt like she wanted to look like this person and that person. And it really made her insecure in her marriage with her husband and just in life. So she was really feeling away. And she was pretty much looking for actionable tips to build her confidence. And so I guess the question is actionable tips on how to build your confidence, especially if you're not the quote-unquote right body type for a plus-size woman.
We didn't see the video, so we don't know exactly what she looks like, but in my mind, she looks similar to me. Because I talk about not having the quote-unquote body norm of a Coke bottle shape. I'm like, my waist does not do this. It does this. It does its own thing.
Yes.
And not to say, that she was talking about it not being discussed often, and it is discussed often in certain crowds.
Yes.
But she may not be a part of that crowd, so give grace on that because she just may not hear about that often. But I do talk about a lot the fact that I have a lot of chin, I have a lot of belly, and I don't have any kids, and I've been told that like you are too big to not have. Girl,
who said that?
People are crazy.
My portion voice.
Okay.
Who said that? Yeah, I've been told, like, and you think about some of those things. Sometimes it rolls around in your mind over and over again. What you've been said, or what has been said to you, or what you see, and then you decide to, a lot of the time believe that based on how people treat you and how society makes you feel based off what is accessible to you.
Yeah.
So even in fashion, like it's harder for me to find something that works for my body because I want to feel comfortable and look cute. But a lot of the things are made for someone with a smaller waist, and girl, I don't have that.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that I don't want to be, a different type of woman that is more healthier than I am today, because a lot of people tie this into health. This ain't got nothing to do with that. This has nothing to do with that. It actually has to do with your confidence, and your confidence is started. You work on that first, honestly, before you work on your health, because you have to have confidence to go and aim for a healthier lifestyle if you're not already there.
Yep.
But yeah.
Close, but I want to make sure you're in the frame.
One of the actionable things I actually started doing was looking for people that looked more like me.
Yes.
And people frown on, I talk about it a lot, not comparing your life, but some comparison is a little healthy, because sometimes you need examples on how to have a healthier mindset. Right. You only grow to what you're exposed to.
Yeah.
And if you're not exposed to someone that looks like you, that has a confident mindset, and they have a well-balanced self-esteem, they're not, you ain't too far to the left, you ain't too far to the right, but you also are, you know who you are, you know your worth, you can walk in that, and you can stand in confidence looking at someone confidently in the eye that is totally different from you, and someone you may used to idolize, but be able to stand your ground and know that you are a woman and you should be respected as such, and you should love yourself regardless of whether you have what they look like, or you look like what they look like, versus how you are today. So I started looking for more people that look like myself online. And honestly, at the time when I started that, I want to say it was like, it was in my 20s. I started doing that. It wasn't a lot of women that look like me on TV. Yeah. So I had to look like on social media. Yeah. So right now we're in an age where you have a lot more access to other people's lives. And that is a blessing and a curse at the same time. But the blessing in it is you have more access to other people that may look more like you. Now you need to start intentionally building a community and seeing a community that looks like you. And it also kind of gives you a little bit more permission to accept who you are and enjoy your life, you see a different option, basically. Yeah. If you're surrounded by negativity and surrounded by you should look like this, but you don't, you're going to always think that about yourself. So I'd say the first thing is to start revamping your community and your access to people that look more like you, have more interests like you, like that you have, may have a more of a family dynamic than you have. Some things that look a little bit more like you, so you can see the options in life of enjoying life as you are. And if you want to manipulate and change your life from there, then you have the right to do that. Yeah. But you have the exposure at that point. I think that's the first thing I would say.
Absolutely.
One thing I want to jump in, and I said this recently, it's not mine, I heard someone say it, but it applies so much to our community, and that is dress for the body that you have, not the body that you want.
Period.
I feel like a lot of the messaging, and Christine talked about this, but a lot of the plus size brands and the brands that, you know, cater to certain women, they always pick that ideal, let's quote, put that in air quotes, like plus size body type with a small waist and wide hips and blah 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 blah.
Big butt.
You know, a big butt. Like if you're that is not who you are, then you know you should always kind of question yourself as to, okay, this looks like this on that person, will it look like this in me? Now it does take a little bit of work because you have to research and figure out, okay, this is the body that I have. Right. Okay, what works for this body, and learn to shop for that body, because that also really affects your confidence as well. When you buy something like, and again, I'm not here to police what anybody wears. Some people have an issue when I talk about like things should be flattering and things should work. You should dress to work for your shape and not against it. But you know, a lot of the issues, self-esteem issues people have is that they put on clothes that, you know, it just does not work for you. Okay, and then it highlights all the areas that you do feel insecure about. Then you're not gonna like what you see in the mirror. We're not a monolith. Everybody's not shaped the same way. You know, there should be variation for reason. Yeah. You know, so learning to embrace the body that you have and dress that body will allow you to even come into more spaces and be more comfortable. And I cannot, what's the word? Like when she said about community and surrounding yourself with people that look like you, that are thriving, it does something to your psyche. It just like I cannot, that point is so important for me. That was like the start of my confidence journey, because I did grow up with people, even when I was like 3-4 dress sizes smaller. You know, I was always like the bigger girl. I was taller. I was a little bit curvier than a lot of the people who are around me. And it was always like, oh, you know, when you're smaller. I'm like, but I'm not smaller. This is the body God gave me. This is who I am. And when I found that community, it really allowed me to embrace that. So definitely, I think starting there makes all of the difference.
And even when you start there, I like that you talked about it, because when you build the community, especially if the person is like, I don't want to say a fashionista, but if you see that they're rocking something in confidence, you kind of give the ideas of what you like. Okay, is that how she's like, and I like how she looks.
Yeah. Not that you needed permission, but it's like, okay, I can. You know?
You see kind of what they're wearing. If we're talking about body style or body shape, if you see what they're wearing and they're rocking it confidently, you can see as an example. Okay, she had this on and she had that one. It can actually give you an idea of where to start to put on, wear in your house, and see if you feel comfortable with it, and then you can navigate from there. What kind of fabrics you like, what kind of silhouettes you like in your dresses, what kind of, do you like it hugging you, do you want to touch in your belly? You know, you can go in depth from there. Eventually you'll gain more confidence where you can surround yourself with different people and not feel like you need to look like the person you're standing next to.
Yeah. The only last point that I will add, because they had, you know, amazing points, and they said all they needed to say. Period. But the only thing that I would say, and one thing, actionable step that definitely helped me, I spoke about this often, but maybe not often enough, and I honestly don't care to talk about it that often. Anyway, I always say I feel like I know all things plus size. I've always been big. I'm not a person who gained weight as an adult. I've always been a bigger girl. And I have also been as small as a size 12 and as large as a size 26, 28. I have been every size on the plus size, mid-size, whatever spectrum. So, you know, I know when I was heavier, I felt like, oh, when I lose weight, I'm going to feel better. But I found that as I lost weight, I found other things to nitpick. And then just when life changes, like, my weight has, again, been all over the place, and people love to point that out. Because when I started, I was about a size 14, and now I'm at an 18, 20, girl, ain't no telling, I don't know, you know. So I say all that to say, for me, I found that I got tired of my confidence fluctuating based on my size. Especially in a point in life where it was just all over the place. After I had my daughter, and then life was happening, I was stressed out, and I was losing weight, and I got happy, and I gained weight. Like, honey, it was a lot going on, okay? And I just wanted my confidence to be anchored in something other than my looks, because I feel like as women and as people, it will change. Now, am I saying that you cannot change it, or I'm not here to talk about health, I'm not a doctor. What I am saying is this: genuinely, as overgrown, at my big age, I'm 36, I'm about to be 37, my body is not going to look like it did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. Like, even the skin is just not, it's just not the same. It's going to change. And I got tired of my confidence changing with my weight and with my, you know, and I know people may say, oh, you know, that's not healthy or that's not the norm, but it is normal to change.
Yeah. That's the only constant thing.
That's just, that's the only constant thing in life. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So I had to learn to love and like myself for me genuinely as who I am, right? I can always change the external. I could dress it up, I can dress it down. Yeah, I can lose the weight. Yeah, I could whatever, but I don't want to wait until this happens to lose weight. And then, like I said, for me, I did find that as my weight changed, there were other things I found to nitpick. And I just didn't, I got tired. For me, my personality, I get tired of my own self. And if I'm tired of myself, I know everybody else tired of me, complaining about whatever. Like, and I've been that friend, and I have those friends. Like, it don't matter what they have on. It don't matter how great they look. Genuinely, they, girl, nobody want to hear that, you know? And I don't say that. I'm very nice and kind. However, it's like I got tired of my own self nitpicking everything. And I got to be the Debbie Downer every time we go out, because I'm, girl, I just like, it doesn't look like yours. Like, no, girl, listen, we're going to show up and show out. So get it together, okay? And so I had to learn, like, you're more than your look.
Yeah.
That, for me, that just became what it was. And I know the Lord. I love the Lord. So I had to anchor my confidence in who God says I am.
Yeah.
This is who I am at the core, right? In addition to whatever I look like, this is my personality. I have a work ethic. I'm a lovable person. I'm more than just my look. Like, that's a piece of who I am, but that's not everything. And I say that till I'm blue in the face to everyone again, because I feel like, especially when it comes to weight, I've been smaller, and it changes things. You have more shopping options. You get more dates and stuff, but it didn't really change the way people treated me per se in relationships and just different things that I thought, oh, when I'm smaller, this will be so different. And it really wasn't. There were differences, but again, confidence-wise, speaking just on that piece, I always found something else to nitpick, and so I had to get myself together. So that, again, I can always work on the external and change that, but I didn't want my confidence to change with my weight, because child, okay, we've been all over the place. But so that, I think, was just a big tip for me, and I think I would give that to anyone, because again, I feel like it doesn't matter what you wear. If you don't like your body and you don't like yourself, it does not matter what you put on. You're gonna feel like it doesn't look like this person. It doesn't look like the model on the website. It doesn't look like Chi or Ashley. It don't look like them. Or we have a similar body type, but I don't have this. You're gonna find something that you don't have, or you can't do, or you and it's like, okay, you might not be able to do that, but what do you have? What can we do? I mean, Jesus. You know?
There's things that you're idolizing in people that they don't have that you have.
And it's just, you know, and part of it is I am an optimistic person. That's just my genuine nature. But also, that's just something that has served me. It's like, okay, today, I'm talking about Chi back out. Baby, this back is roly-poly. I can't do the backless. I love to see it. But I'm not going to be in the corner crying because I can't wear the backless shirt that Chi got on. It's not for me. I can admire it all day. I think it looks great. I'm just not going to buy it. And I'm going to go find me something else that looks similar, but I need the back covered, okay? Okay, we turn it around. I show a little chest, you know, like what, you know, again, what can I do? I may not feel comfortable with the backless option, but what can I wear? You know what I'm saying? So I would just encourage you to kind of work on the inside, because you can always dress the outside and change it and all of that, but if you don't have the inside together, it doesn't matter what the outside looks like. You're gonna always find something to nitpick with yourself, because you just genuinely don't like yourself. And I think, you know, the steps to do that just kind of looks different for everyone. But I would just say to get down to the root of the insecurity. Because you can always change the outside, and I think, again, just with life and at our big age, I'm gonna speak on me. At my big age, the look is gonna change, and that's okay. Like, I'm thankful to be here, honey. Okay.
One thing about that video that we didn't mention earlier was the lady actually feels insecure in her marriage. She was married for 10 years, plus size woman, and at this point I haven't seen the video. Maybe by the time this comes live, you guys will see. We'll have a plug in so you guys can see it. But I think she talked about not being confident with her husband in the bedroom, and that is a whole thing. Yeah, like, what y'all think about that?
I think the man saw you.
Right. Listen,
okay.
These roles. Now you just gonna see a different angle of these roles.
Did he Did he run out the room when you got naked? If he didn't run out the room, then he knows exactly what's going on.
Really
he
don't
married
seem to care as much as we do. Not every.
Right.
Some people have the podcast dudes and all that. People love to glorify that, but I mean,
but they are also the minority. Yeah. There's people have louder voices that have these podcasts and have YouTube channels and all this other stuff, and they make it seem like men ain't out here looking for women that look like us, or they are not attracted to women that look like us, but they are also people just with loud voices and a platform. That don't mean they are the majority of the men in this world, because majority of this world ain't in front of a camera.
And also, why would you even want a man that is so superficial?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Because again, anything could happen. Like, again, we're talking about life. God forbid, let's say something was to happen and it's not even something you can control with your body, right? Like, you wouldn't want your man to be like, oh, no, she got a health concern, I'm finna go.
And then dip out. Yeah.
You know, and of course, that's not the majority. We, pray to God everyone's in good health. But I'm just saying, like, life happens. And I think, I don't know. Y'all know, when I heard, I was like, girl,
if he been married to you for 10 years,
you better ride it like a rodeo.
Get your cowboy hat. On that thing. Was it? But he loved you enough to say he wants to spend the rest of his life with you. The roles ain't gonna stop that.
And she didn't say that she gained weight later. Like, so I'm like, I mean, it's not like you bamboozled, like he was catfished. 10 years, like he know what he got. Like, you know. And so again, I was like, in that situation, if I was to speak to her, I would just say, have you vocalized to him, maybe for him to affirm you a little bit more?
Yeah,
like,
let him know what you're thinking.
She just needs some affirmation from her husband to just like some extra affirmation and security to kind of help her through that.
Yeah, that's in relationships in general. If you are struggling with something that big that can affect the physical of your marriage, and that is a big thing in marriage, you definitely want to make sure you have that conversation with your spouse so that they're aware of what you're going through, and they can also help. What a problem that you have in marriage shouldn't be just your problem. It's y'all's situation that y'all can work through together. So hopefully she vocalized that to him. It sounds like she may not have.
And I think it's so important to do that too. Yeah.
And I pray that, I mean, in 10 years, I would pray that they have the type of relationship where she could be honest about that. I mean, in 10 years, I'm sure he knows. Like, I don't think
he probably feels it.
Yeah, but I don't think it would come as a surprise if she came and was like, well, babe, I'm really feeling away and it's kind of affecting our intimacy, you know.
And he probably like, yeah, girl, I felt you.
Pushed
like, me away when I was trying to plug you
or maybe he's feeling like it's him and it's her, you know. Like,
you're right.
It's definitely a point of just having that conversation. And, you know.
That miscommunication can spiral a whole different
and
issue.
He ain't perfect probably either.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So like,
he has his own insecurity.
Sure.
You know, and who's perfect? No,
that's why I said I'm sure. Like, you know,
we all have to have grace with each other.
Yeah. So
yeah. But do y'all haven't let that before? Had that ever been a problem in your dating? You feeling insecure in yourself?
I'm a right now.
No. I definitely feel like
that song's just stuck in my head now.
When I was much younger, I just had this idea that women should be perfect. Yeah. You know, like for example, like I have asymmetrical boobs, and I used to be so insecure, like to be topless because you can see it, but it's not even that big of a deal, right? Or that I used to have stretch marks when I was a lot younger, yes, but like. Man, you know how many women got stretch marks? Like, everybody and their mama got stretch marks.
Especially at this age.
Exactly.
Right. It's part of the territory, okay?
Yeah. And the guys, they've seen it all. Yeah. So they're fine.
They really don't care.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, dating wise, yes. I did. I told you when I was heavier, much heavier, I did feel like I would have more options when I got smaller. And I did, but it did not change necessarily the treatment per se.
More options and who was willing to date me.
Yes. And so I also talked about like the first like real relationship that I was in. I accepted a lot because I feel like nobody else would like me and stuff like that. And I do think a lot of it was just, just being younger and growing up a heavy girl and you just feel insecure. And so it took a lot of courage for me at that age. I was, I think 20 maybe, to walk away from that relationship. And we had been together for, I think, like 3 years, 18, 19, something like that. And I was just, very young and just, I really felt that way. And so, then of course life went on and I realized like, oh, okay, he wasn't the one.
I got options.
I did have options. And in high school, that definitely wasn't the case. Like, I had a lot of guys who would try to talk to me on the low. I mean, I did have guys, but a lot of it was like, oh, yeah, I think you cute. But it was like, I'm going to slide you a letter, not, a letter,
they don't want to
that age. And
I
wasn't DMing
yeah.
We had MySpace. AOL download, okay? So they had to slide letters, okay? Putting letters in your locker. It was that kind of thing. So it was that kind of like on the down low type situation. Like, I can't be with you in public because I don't know what my friends gonna say.
Exactly.
But once I got to college and like after, it was much different. But I will say, I guess coming straight from high school to college and having that experience, that's why I felt like I have to hold on to this because who else is gonna love me?
Right.
And I accepted a lot less than I definitely, should have.
And I think a lot of that trauma from like being bigger, especially in high school, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do all with the boys and their security. They're more interested in what their friends have to say. And that has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with you. So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So have y'all? So currently at our bigger age, how is dating? So I think I say that because I know we just talked about like the insecurity at the younger age. So how is it differently, in your 20s versus in your 30s? Like, do you feel a difference in confidence in dating when it comes to specifically your size per se? Do you feel like you've had a difference in mindset, difference in experience? Is it different now that you're older, or
now my size is I don't want to say a non-negotiable, but I need to feel comfortable with you. If I'm talking to you, for one, my confidence has allowed me to be more vocal about my needs and desires and what I will and will not tolerate or accept in a relationship. And even now, I'm still growing and learning about stuff because I haven't been a huge relationship girl. Y'all may not know, but I was celibate and single for 7 years before I even started dating. So even that, while building up my confidence in that, I was like, you know what? I don't have to deal with this. Or I don't have to talk to this person just because they're trying to talk to me. I don't like this part of this person, and it seems like they're not willing to kind of, bend a little bit with me or be like compromise a little bit in a relationship. So I don't have to deal with that. So it's, my size honestly was less of a concern the more confident and older I got because I'm more like, I'm gonna walk in the room and you're gonna see confidence regardless. So you walking up to me and talking to me, you're gonna know right off the bat, I don't care about what you think about how I look. Unless you giving me a compliment, thank you so much. But if you coming with all that negative stuff, we just not doing it. So it's never been an issue in that aspect anymore, just I guess because of the aura.
So it changed as your confidence.
As my confidence grew and I began to know myself more and stand firm in who I was, then it got easier because you're not willing to deal with as much mess.
Yeah, I think for me with age, it was definitely knowing what my non-negotiables were. And also realizing that, there's this thing about quantity and quality. I think growing up, you remember you'd go to like the club or stuff with your friends. And then all the other skinny girls would get chose. Just because they got a lot of quantity does not mean that they got quality.
That's right. The treatment was...
Exactly. So, I'm just like, I almost, when I look back at it, I think it's almost like a blessing in disguise because, it wasn't too many people that I had to deal with and go through all this heartbreak and all of that. And also realizing that there's someone for everyone. So your person's going to think you are, they're going to think that, exactly.
As he should.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you don't,
where's the next?
Yep.
If I care about the next.
Yeah. You know.
Wait, you don't see me? Okay.
Exactly.
Get it
So,
together then.
you know, your person gonna think you the best thing since sliced bread.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't think that, then they don't need to be in
your person.
in your orbit. Period. So if it means a little bit more patience, then have a little bit more patience. But yeah, that's how my mindset with dating has changed. And honestly, when you first meet someone, they're on their best behavior.
Yes.
So if you start to make concessions from the beginning, girl, you're gonna be frustrated. Yeah, you won't be frustrated. Yeah. So know that.
Let's go nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Be very as vocal as you can be. So much more. I don't want to say. Okay, just be as vocal as you can be about. I don't want to say. I was trying to say. I don't want to say nag, and that's the thing. People think being vocal about what you need and what is nagging. No, don't let nobody think that. Don't let nobody misconstrue that with you nagging or being difficult.
You can't expect people to be mind readers. So
exactly.
you have to kind of verbalize it, right? That's just something I had to learn with maturity too. Like, you expect they should just know. Well, maybe they don't. So if I told you, you know, X, Y, and Z, then now you can't say you didn't know. And again, I think it's just in fairness with any type of relationship, romantic, platonic, you can't expect people to read your mind or know your expectations or whatever. So I do think it's important to just, it's a difference between stating my expectation and nagging, and don't let people try to play on it and like make you feel like you're tripping. No, I'm just being vocal and communicating as we should. That's a part of getting to know people. Like, I'm not going to assume that you like Jerome from last year. Why is it Jerome? I don't know, but I don't know. It's just the name that popped up in my head.
And I think I was talking to somebody at your housewarming, and she was like, "Girl, yeah, don't forget, men are slower learners, I guess, or in especially when we're like having." Like, for instance, we can have a whole conversation, and then it'll be something on your face that lets me know that maybe something, the dynamic has changed, and then a woman may be like, okay, well, girl, hold on, I didn't mean it like that. Then she can see the shift. Most men will be like, okay. Yeah, and then not even just, you know, they may not even go that route to try to clear that up. So being verbal is very, we love them. Being verbal is very important, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yes, that's what.
Because you don't want you don't want to put that pressure on a man
expectation,
to try to,
but they don't even know
put in the work that you didn't. Exactly.
Yeah. Dating tips while we're here, confidence tips.
I think this online dating is trash. That's the tip.
Okay. So online dating is trash.
Okay.
Dating apps. It's trash.
Okay.
You got any?
I ain't got none.
No, I don't either. I'm being careful of my words. So I'm going to say dating is an experience.
That's a good.
That's all I got. Dating is an experience. And I think it's just very unfortunate. Like, there's this one guy that I've been knowing him for years, and girl, he need no.
She's like, no.
Ain't nothing to get excited. He cool. He's very cool. If he's watching this, he'll know exactly who he is. I call him like a human encyclopedia. He knows so much about so many things. He likes to read, so I always call him about, like, do you know about? Because I feel like he knows everything. Anyway, But part of his issue, in addition to the fact that he needs therapy and doesn't want to go, you know, he's one of those, man, can't nobody tell me what to do. It's not about telling you what to do. You need to heal, and you resisting. That's what's wrong with it. That's part of it.
Yeah.
You might need a little medication or something. I don't know, but get it together. Anyhow, he always sends me these, like, podcasts and things about, because we always talk about, like, dating and, you know, whatever. But I told him I'm just very uninterested in the war against men and women. I'm just I'm uninterested. I'm exhausted with the topic. If you got a bash, don't even worry about it. I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of hearing about it. Women don't know what black men, black women, they need to do this. That's why they're up. I don't want to hear it. I'm tired. Just find somebody who likes what you like and who agree and be done with it. And if you don't, it's okay. We ain't got to bash each other. It's okay. We just don't align. Like, what happened to that? We can't, at our big age, again, like, we just can't agree to disagree and move on. We got to bash each other. Like, it's not that deep. We can agree to disagree and call it a day. We don't have to be a war on men and women. Like, we both need each other and we need to be able to coexist, which is, I feel like, why and how we were created. But baby, I don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, all those podcasts and stuff that talk about you need to do this and you need to do that in dating and you need to be this way and they need to be this way and they need to make this much and you need to do that.
Stop.
First of all, everybody's relationship is different and should be private. The
that
work
part.
you do in your relationship should be the work you do between you and your partner.
Period.
And if you need a trusted party, one,
That should
maybe
be
two.
them.
And y'all should agree on who that
But
party
it don't
is.
need to be on
But
one.
it doesn't, in everybody's tolerance on certain things is different.
Yes.
You can't knock someone else for wanting to date somebody that is in a different tax bracket, or you can knock this other person for wanting to date somebody and being able to help them in their situations or whatever. You can't knock somebody because they're go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No.
You can't knock someone with what they want to do in a. Not you looking over. I want to know.
No, I just was looking. I'm in the middle, so I'm just looking back and forth.
I'm thinking about the Tyler Perry thing.
That's exactly what I was going to bring.
Yes,
That's
okay.
I was like, ooh, when you said tax bracket, I was about to ask, but y'all thought about the Tyler Perry comment.
That's a good one.
The one thing
I was trying to let you finish your statement, and then I was
Basically,
going to ask. So
your relationship is your relationship, and you should know who you are before diving into a relationship, so that you can know what your do's and don'ts are.
Yeah.
And again, those things may be totally different than your
And
mamas
that's
and your
okay.
sisters and your cousins.
That's what I was gonna say.
okay.
How does it feel to you?
Yeah.
If it feels wrong to you, then you shouldn't be in it.
You shouldn't
If
be
you feel
in
like
it.
you're being used,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't be. But if it's cool to you, then it's
And it wasn't cool to the next person.
It's cool.
Then
That's
it's cool to you. It
okay.
don't matter
Yeah.
about the next person.
yeah.
Do
We
what's
ain't
right
gotta
for your
kiss.
relationship.
Yeah. So what do we? The Tyler Perry.
So yeah, Tyler Perry.
I feel like
The Tyler Perry.
I understand what he.
I will say I think he was being dramatic.
He was
Purposefully.
Being, yes,
when
was
he said they don't.
Yeah.
If he can only pay the light bill.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just being.
Yeah,
I hope he was
I
being
think
dramatic.
he was
yeah.
being facetious, and he knew it was gonna get clicks
Get the people going.
and people talking.
You think it was clickbait?
Possibly, but I also think that, God, I just lost. So go ahead. I'm gonna come
so
back.
sorry.
I'm gonna come back. My mind just went blank.
That's okay.
Okay. So I also think that. Back to what we were talking about, what works for you, right? If a man who only pays the light bill works for you, then I'm not gonna knock
Would
it.
it work for you?
Let me finish. Hold on. Hold on. But I do feel like absolutely not. But I do feel like as Black women, we're always being told to understand.
Accept the lesson.
Yes, like understand. I'm like, no offense, this colored sisters, right? How many of them you see dating men that only pay the light bill?
And they're not even taught that. I'm sorry.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Like they dating, stockbrokers, business owners, NBA players. Like they do not go for the bottom of the barrel.
No.
And if you have worked so hard to bring yourself up to a certain level, what's that? There's a verse in the Bible about being unequally yoked.
Yeah.
And it's not just spiritually.
Yeah, they were talking about spiritually, and that in that context, that's what the literal definition is about. But I also think that applies especially if my man is only paying the light bill.
There's
then
gonna be some resentment.
He's going. No, I'm just saying, if there was a possibility in a world where that was possible, then he must be bringing.
I'm gonna say that light bill got to be pretty high. That's all.
A whole lot of other stuff to the table, my man. Like I don't know what you're gonna be, Picasso, a nuclear physicist. I don't know what you're gonna. You have to bring a lot to the table.
A nuclear physicist.
Okay, that is getting his 5th PhD, and that is the reason why he does not earn enough to pay more bills. Okay. You got to be bringing a lot more to the table, but yeah, Black women, I feel like we're being told a lot of times to just accept what we want, and I get it. He was like, well, if the man treats you good, and if the man is, you're securing your relationship.
You ain't treating me good. You don't pay the light bill. You stressing me.
And
it's stressful.
And I do feel like Black men especially that are well-to-do or who have their ish together, they have so many options that they, there's this perception that they're not the most faithful, they're not the most reliable because they got options. So I feel like maybe that's what he was leaning to, if you got a bus driver, he's faithful. He ain't got that many options. He gonna be faithful to you. But I'm just
that's a lie too.
What?
Moms be. I'm sorry. No.
Yes, moms do.
No. But pause. A bus driver is not a bum.
Okay.
That's not what I'm.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't gainfully employed. Whatever you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. we want you to work. Everybody needs a job, and no matter their job, everyone. I shouldn't. I recant that. I wasn't.
We gonna cut it out.
Yeah. I don't want nobody. I'm not. No.
Yeah.
But I feel like he shouldn't have said it, and I feel like number one, it doesn't apply to you. The rules don't apply to you. You're a billionaire, right? Like, how are you to even speak on what black women should accept? You don't have a daughter. You don't have you.
Is he in a relationship?
Why is it a mute point? Girl, I don't know.
Is he straight?
I don't know.
From the left, I've always wondered that.
Me too, but I don't know. I don't know that man. I ain't never met that man. I don't know what he doing. Okay, I don't know.
I'm thinking about eyes water.
But what I will say is, why you talking about it? Why are you speaking on it? And just to your point, my issue is just the fact that I feel like black men and men in general, because I know everyone here is not black, but I'm black and that's all I got. So they're always trying to tell black women what they should and should not accept. But nobody's out here telling them that they should accept the bare minimum of whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever that looks like for men. Because I'm not a man, so I don't even try to tell men what they should and should not do. I say I'm a woman. I talk to women. That's where the Lord put me. So you talk to the men. Why are you telling me what I should accept? Why are we always taught to accept the bare minimum? Or I just feel like it's stupid. I feel like it's silly. I feel like it's condescending, especially when, as Mr. Medea, like your population, you're mostly speaking to women and black women. You build your empire off of mocking, not mocking in a that's just the way I can, that's the only word that comes to mind right now. But it's Medea is a black woman, and that's been your kind of not claim to fame, but you know your most popular, the one that kind of got you in the door to where he's going. Not negating his talent, not negating his skill, not negating any of his accomplishments. What I am saying is, it's just interesting that, again, you've grown your presence off of characterizing a black woman, but you're going to turn around and tell black women that they should just pretty much settle for whatever. As long as he planned. And again, I'm sure the light-bill comment was just something quick on the go. But I don't like the message at all. I feel like you shouldn't have spoke on it. I feel like it's not even for you to say. Again, you're way up there. You don't have...
Regular people.
You don't have regular people problems
issues.
like that.
Exactly.
So why would you even speak on it? And I think that I just hate that narrative that people are trying to push. I say trying because it's up to us to what we accept. I'm not accepting it. You're not going to be sitting up in here paying no light bill and that's it. Because why?
That's back to you have to do what's right for you.
Yeah, I have a child.
Yeah,
but that's just me. That's me.
Yeah.
Do you, boo? Okay, I don't judge anybody because I don't have room. Right. But for me personally, I just feel like it wasn't even the light bill comment. Again, I think it was just the generalization that women should accept the bare minimum as long as he loves you, and as long as, and I'm not saying that money is everything, because it's not. It's so much more than that. Yes, you want someone who loves you and who cherishes you and who all of that kind of stuff. But I just don't like the bare minimum thing. Because in my experience, being with someone who, made less and all that, it wasn't an issue for me. It was an issue for him. And over time, it built resentment. He felt away because he couldn't do X, Y, and Z. I never said anything. I never made it out to be nothing. But that was an insecurity on his part. And it's like, I can't, it's like, what do you want me to do? And it's like, he would get mad. This was years. This is, like, I remember I got $1 raise, like, after I had been at the job for like 90 days or something, or maybe you learn a new skill and it was $1 raise, and we were making, I think at the time I was making like maybe $3 or $4 an hour more than him. Mind you, we, like, what, 21, 22, we're young. So we wasn't, neither one of us was making no money, but I was making more than him, but it wasn't, and so I think we were splitting the bills per se, but I think I did pay more of something than him because I made a little bit more. But again, we both was paycheck to paycheck at the time. And so, but he really had an issue, and it was like built up resentment because he couldn't do. So in my experience, that's not the only experience I've had with that. Any experience that I've had dating a guy who made significantly less than me, it has always been an issue for them, like building resentment or feeling like they couldn't do certain things. And then at some point I did, like, there's one guy, I felt away. I was like, I feel like you always looking to me, so I didn't like the way it felt for me. For me.
Look at me to what?
So like they were trying to go on a trip. One of their friends it was a destination wedding, and so we were like, okay, well let's split the cost. But when it came time to pay the I think we were getting a flight or maybe doing the rest of the hotel. We were doing something and he didn't have his part. But he didn't even say he didn't have his part. He was looking to me. And it was like, well, you know, cause it was more so a pride issue, but instead of him being vocal and just saying, well, hey, I really don't have it. Can you do this? And I'll get back to you. He was just kind of like silent about it. Yeah, and I didn't like that. So again, I don't know what you got going on because I'm not a mind reader. And he's like, well, you just know, and I just felt prideful because I didn't have. That's what I mean. That right there, when it becomes that issue, and then it's, well, I didn't want to say nothing because I felt the way because I didn't have. I don't have time for just say something. Like I don't like I said, we're not living together. I don't know your finances, but you have to say something and say, hey, can you cover this for me and I'll give it back to you. But you ain't said nothing, and how do I know? Like you know, so just that type of tension, I don't like it. And in my experience, that's what it's been, and that's why I'm not really attracted to that. And I'm not saying I would never do it again. It just can't be no huge gap of like I can only afford to go to McDonald's. We can't even go to Cheddar's. I mean, I can't go get no spinach dip. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, I like to eat good.
I can't get my croissant.
I'm just saying, I like you know, I like a good. And I can't get no lemon drop.
Sorry. And I find in those dynamics, it's like I feel like the woman almost has to make herself smaller.
Yes.
Just for the man's ego, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, how do I live now? I have someone who come to clean my house. I have someone who does this. I feel like these men in these situations, they will put you to work yourself to death.
Period.
Like, oh, why do you have somebody to clean your house? Why can't you pick up your own groceries? Because I can't.
Girl, I'm sorry. Why can't you?
They're like, oh, why are you wasting money on having someone picking up your groceries or cleaning your house? Yeah. You know, or why are you wasting money on that car? They start questioning your purchases, your financial decisions. And I'm like, I'm not trying to live.
For nothing.
I'm not trying to live smaller just to make you
pay the money so that you can live the way you want to live, and nobody should be able to question that.
You know, so there's just too many.
Try to alter your lifestyle to make you feel comfortable.
And again,
I even had a guy ask me. Did I tell y'all about that? Where the guy was about the PPP loan?
What?
He asked
you to get up.
No. He asked. So I was he came to my house and I was on the phone with my photographer when he came in. We were shooting the next day and we were trying to make sure we had everything. And so I was like, oh my bad, you know. So I finished talking. I'm like, oh my bad. I was on the phone with my photographer and he was like, oh, so and he was just asking like, oh, you have somebody else take your picture? I was like, yeah, I just started. I think at that time I had just started working with Corey maybe a couple months before. I was like, yeah, I do now. It's just a little easier. And he just started kind of asking me questions about the business, but which is normal for me because most people kind of don't understand how influencer works. Yeah. So I'm just, you know, oh yeah, da da da. And I think at that time Jordan. So at that time it was Jordan. I was working with Corey at the time. So those were the two people that I was, you know, paying. But either way, it was just I say this to say, it's not like I met him as like, hey, I'm Nita, you know, I pay 2 people to work for. It was never anything. I don't even do that. That's just not me. But he was just asking just general questions like, oh, and so you have your assistant and the photographer? I was like, yeah, I have. You know, they just kind of help me do this. As I'm like, I think I had ordered some wings or something. So I'm like fixing a drink. You know how you just talking. So I'm like, yeah, da-da-da, you know, do. And so I go sit down and he was like, yeah, so he was like, so you got a PPP loan? I said, what? Cause I was like, you know how you,
cause he couldn't imagine that you could do that
like,
on your own.
I was like, and mind you, this is not like right after the pandemic. Well, I mean, I guess it wasn't like that to where like PPP is fresh on your mind. Yeah. So I'm like, what? I said, you ain't got a what? Like, and no shade to a PPP loan, cause I got I got one of, it wasn't PPP, it was another one that I was able to get a loan for my business. So I'm not no shade to a PPP loan or any kind of assistance. What it came back to was just the mind frame that, oh, in order for her to pay these people or to do this, she has to have gotten some kind of PPP loan, or she got to be scamming or scheming. And
you got to pay attention to the little things.
That's pretty much where he was headed. Like, so how you so you know, and mind you, I'm like, you would think I sit up here and told him I paid these people a salary and I got full time and I'm cutting checks and stuff. And it wasn't even it wasn't even that deep. It was just a general conversation like, oh, you know, we're shooting tomorrow. And I think one time he called me and I had him on speaker. I was like, hey, Jordan's in the car. That's my assistant. Like, I was just trying to let him know, like, well, he called me one day. So that's how he knew about Jordan. And I was on the phone with Corey because we were shooting the next day. So again, it's not like I came out the gate like, oh, this is what I do. This is who I am. And I take that. It was none of that. It was none of that, you know? And so I'm just like, I gotta have a PPP loan to pay people.
It goes down. It goes down to the exposure and the mindset. Yeah, you have to pay attention to who you're with, especially when it comes to money, and not just money, but their mindset
and that was
around
for me.
money.
It was the mindset around.
It's the I agree with them regarding Tyler Perry having comments of what women should and should not be okay with, and he's not a woman, a black woman. I didn't even think about that at first, but yes, there are a lot of men that want to tell women what they should and should not do, and sometimes you can keep that. You should keep that advice to a trusted circle. But I also am someone when I'm dating, I don't look at the dollar of how much they make. I'm gonna ask you because I'm an accountant. But one and two, I'm a person that asks a lot of questions, and three, my household is ran very spotless when it comes to my finances. So I'm gonna know what you make before we even get exclusive. I'm gonna know what you make, because if we decide to make this a whole thing, I need to know your drive. I need to know your ambition. I need to know how much you make. I need to know how you manage your money, and you gonna know that just by coming into my space. That I don't make a whole lot of money. I'm not in Nita's tax bracket. I don't make a whole lot of money. However, I manage my money as if I made myself a whole lot of money. So, and that's what makes it different. So to me, your dollar amount doesn't matter as much. I'm gonna manage the money. In my relationship, I trust myself managing the money. Do you trust me managing the money? No? Okay, this ain't the relationship for me. Because I know how to manage, and I feel like I will be very open with you about our money, where we're spending, what I'm saving towards. What are our goals? Okay, we can get this amount of money, put it in a sinking fund so we can make sure we have this by this date so we can go on that trip. Or we can do this over here so we make sure we furnish this house, or we do whatever and pay cash and not have to use all that, whatever we want to do. That's how I manage, and I will be very open and vocal, and I can trust that with my partner. So I don't really care about the dollar amount as much now based on what I'm making. But it's also, again, the mindset. I can't have nobody lazy. You need to be willing to work. And that person, I live comfortably. So anything you bring me, we gonna be good. We're going to be good because I live comfortably based on my salary. So anything you bring me, we're going to be able to expound past that because I'm really good at managing money. So it just goes to the type of person you are and what you're comfortable with.
So you okay with him paying a light bill?
Oh, absolutely not. I ain't said it. Let's go back to what. No. That's why I said I don't pay attention to the number that much, because the drive and the ambition and all of that. If you're trying to live the same lifestyle that I'm trying to live, then you are already gonna surpass past just paying a light bill. So it's gonna be more than that regardless. So that's why I said it goes with what your goals are. Who the type of person he is, what his personality is surrounding work, and then from there you can see if you're comfortable with that. And even if he doesn't make enough, and you talk to me, if he doesn't make enough, I'm like, baby, you don't make enough for me to feel comfortable about this. If we have a conversation about, he's like, oh no, I'm aiming toward this and I'm aiming toward that, and I actually see you working that. I see you actually working toward that. Then you're putting actionable steps towards that. You're actually making progress in that, and I can trust that you are actually building towards that, and you weren't just talking. That's something else too to look at. So those are the things I look at when I'm dating. I also am not going to take just some FloJo's information.
We're all a work in progress. We're all a project.
And that person isn't a project. That person
isn't perfect.
Right.
But you're not finna build nothing off my back. I'm too old now.
Yeah. I think we should. I almost thought about that question about marrying potential or
Jesus
being.
Is.
But did you say Jesus?
Jesus, build it off of the Lord's back.
Okay.
That's what he's there for. He is a present help.
But I think that's a good question
because we had to.
The finances.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, you guys. So that was it. This has been quite interesting. But
girl, how long was this? An hour?
Girl, an hour.
Yeah,
y'all got some good tea.
Y'all squeezing. So you guys, that's the end of part 1. Go ahead and head over to Ashley's channel for part 2. Again, I will have both Ashley from Head to Curve and Chi Chi Supple Chic, their Instagram and YouTube channels linked in the description box down below. But go ahead and head over to Ashley's channel for part 2, and then go ahead and circle to Supple Chic for part 3. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Bye.